Hold on. There's a story. One of the friends I brought into Eve as a magic executioner. He came down to a gate camp I was part of and got a kill mail assist. Oh, is it this guy right here? This guy right here, this new bro? I really wish we could get back to the world where people start saying, like, bigger isn't better again. Like, when I first joined the game, if you said, I want to get into a carrier, I want to get into a Titan, you get told that that's a long-term goal. But more importantly, you get emphasized how incredibly important a frigate can be in a fleet, right? This idea of the fact that players need to catch up is ignoring, or is predicated on the idea that there aren't roles for those people. And there are incredibly valuable roles, key roles for those people. Roles that if they do it wrong, it isn't that big of a loss. But if they do it right, it can literally make them into a hero. Like, we really, 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 really should be continuing to encourage Newbros into getting into things like tackle, scouting, etc., and not like talk about how everybody needs to inject into a rope wall or whatever. I'm not sure how much I trust that that link. Risky click. Tackle isn't a Newbro row? What are you talking about? Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. What are you talking about? Suicide Tackle is like the newbie role. You get a chance to watch that TIS shit show? Which one? The one that where Matterall is going off about how he doesn't like the open letter? Or is there a new one? Yeah, that was wild. That was absolutely wild. But I think it's just an indication of like how polarizing this situation is. And polarized people aren't thinking things through. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this stream, to like pull things apart. And yeah, I said a lot of things that I'm sure everybody who's watching this stream disagreed with me, like passionately, at least at one point. But that's the point. Like, we got to challenge our ideas. We got to allow for some nuance. So Ash, you remember what we went through a bit? Sometimes pulling Newbros in tackle makes them die, like right off the bat, and miss out on their fleet time experience. I mean, yeah, that's true. Absolutely. But that doesn't make tackle not a Newbro role. E-War Frigate is the other good newbie role for that exact reason, right? I mean, you don't want them in Logi. You need to know a good deal of game mechanics to tackle half decently. Yeah, but you don't need to be able to tackle half decently to be able to get a tackle. It also depends on scale, right? But I mean, like, it's always been kind of a common wisdom that suicide tackle is a great place for a new bro to learn. I also don't want put them in damage. I mean, but the problem is that, so if we're in Macarials and they can't fly a Macarial, I'm not going to turn them away. That's what I mean by that. Like tackle is a role that is required. There's always a need for people in frigates. No matter no matter what comp we're flying, if we're fighting people, there's always a need for frigates. Yeah, running tackle classes help. And honestly, bringing a new bro along on a fleet and getting them killed off the bat isn't exactly a bad thing, because, like, so here's the thing. Whenever a new bro is going on a fleet for the first time, I like to tell them that your objective is simply to just stay on grid with the FC. If you can just physically stay with the FC on your first fleet, you have won as a pilot, right? Like anything above that is just fucking gravy. As long as you can just not get lost, you're fine for your first time. But that being said, like I said, the Newbro attempting to tackle and failing gives you an opportunity to help teach him how to do it better. So the expectation is, you probably won't do, you might not do a good job right away. You might die right away. It's fine, whatever. That's sort of expected. You'd be surprised how many of them turn into heroes if you give them the opportunity. But even then, like, if they die right away, then they weren't a detriment to the fleet. And now you've got something to talk to them about. Well, why'd you die? You didn't spiral. Why'd you die? Well, because we warped to a Fortizar and the PDS was on. You know what I mean? There's a lesson there. Whereas a person who's just doing DPS, A, they have to have the right ship and equipment. But more importantly, B, it's far too easy for a Newbro to be in a fleet as just another DPS member, be totally lost, and never really even communicate what's wrong, and it never be identified, right? As long as they stay with the fleet, no one is really going to even notice if they're doing the right thing or wrong thing or confused or whatever. There's too many people for them to ask. So, I actually prefer scenarios that allows a newbie to fail at what they're, let them try and fail and then help them understand why they failed. If you just say, oh, Newbros will fail, so we're going to give them things that they can't fail at, like that, there's no growth there. Aderon Robotics. That's absolutely correct. Newbro Cormorant might be a decent too. That's true. Absolutely true. Bruh, even old players don't know how to spiral? Yeah. Because they were never put into a situation where they had to learn to spiral with somebody who had the expectation that they would learn to spiral, that was going to show them how to do it, because that person, the experienced pilot, needs that new pilot to know how to spiral. So he's going to go through the effort to make sure that that new pilot knows how to spiral, because the last time he didn't know how to spiral, and so his tackle failed. And next time, that experienced pilot doesn't want the new pilot to fail, so that way he can get the kill. I didn't even know. Well, remember how we mentioned transversal earlier? Spiraling means that you kind of come in a spiral pattern at a 30-degree angle or so to make sure that you are... Basically, it lets you get closer to the target, close distance, but while keeping your transversal up.